Well, it's time for Granny Shares the Bible again today. I'm going to share the Bible from chapter 12, and we're going to start in verse 12. And when he had considered the thing, talking about Peter considering how the angel had come and delivered him out of the hand of Herod and from all the expectation of the people of the Jews. They wanted him killed. Herod wanted to kill him. But the angel came and delivered him. And when he had considered the thing, he came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark, where many were gathered together praying. And as Peter knocked at the door of the gate, a damsel came to hearken, named Rhoda. So Rhoda is somebody in the Bible now. She just came to the door. And when she knew Peter's voice, she opened not the gate for gladness, but ran in and told how Peter stood before the gate. And they said unto her, Thou art mad. But she constantly affirmed that it was even so. Then said they, It is his angel. It would be easier to believe that it was an angel, his angel, than it was Peter. So Rhoda, she saw him, but she didn't open up. They were behind the gates, right? They were hiding. And they were hiding and praying because Herod was arresting Christians. But Peter continued knocking, and when they had opened the door and saw him, they were astonished. Dear Lord, please do this for me. Please do this for me. Please, Lord, do this for me. You did it for me? Oh. It's so like us, isn't it? You did it for me. But Peter continued knocking. Let me in, let me in. And when they had opened the door and saw him, they were astonished. But he, beckoning unto them with a hand to hold their peace, declared unto them how the Lord had brought him out of the prison. And he said, Go show these things unto James and to the brethren. And he departed and went into another place. So how did the Lord do it? Let's go back and let's just review that since we're talking about it. Behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison. Peter was sleeping between two soldiers, bound with two chains. There were keepers before the door. So 4 Roman soldiers were Herod's soldiers. 4 of Herod's soldiers were keeping him so that he could not escape. But that angel came, and he smote Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, Arise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hands. Undone chains. And the angel said unto him, Gird thyself and bind on thy sandals. And so he did. And he saith unto him, Cast thy garment about thee and follow me. And he went out and followed him, and wist not that it was true, which was but done by the angel, but thought he saw a vision. So even though they had been with Jesus, this was all new. Angels helping them, and an angel seeing him out of that prison. And when they were past the first and the second ward, they came unto the iron gate that leadeth unto the city, which opened to them of his own accord. Peter couldn't have gotten in, but the angel came along, and the gates just opened for him. Now, that's a little bit different, isn't it? The gate opened of his own accord, but down here, he has to keep knocking and knocking and knocking for the church to let him in. Oh my. God's power and man's fear and man's unbelief. But God's power again. And they went out and passed on through one street, and forthwith the angel departed from him. It makes you want to have an angel along with you all the time. And we do. The Lord said that our angels are always looking to God's face. What for? I'm not sure exactly where to find that. Trying to think. And I'm trying to think that the angels always look on his face. I don't know where it is found. Somebody will have to tell me. It won't come back to me right now. Where it talks about the angels always looking on the face of our Father. There are angels always looking to his face. What are they looking at his face for? For any indication that they need to go and take care of us. Wow. I need to find that. Okay, if I was going to find anything else, I'd just look in the concordance, right? Let's do that. Because you need to know where you can find stuff too. Angel. Let's look up angel. Angel or angels. Okay, angel. Get them into it. Okay, angel. Anger. Angel. Let's go back this way. Angel. Okay, angel. Let's see what it says. Okay. Ministering spirits. The throne, surround the throne of God. Intermediaries between man and God. Have charge over the children of God. How about Matthew 18 and 10? Let's look there. When you got a good Bible, it's a good thing, isn't it? Matthew 18 and 10. Take heed that you despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. That was it, wasn't it? Okay? So they're angels. Am I a little one? I'm 75 years old, but I need the Lord to help me all the time. So in his sight, I'm little. And I need that. That in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. They're angels. My angel is looking to God's face. And if I need help, all he has to do is see what God wants him to do. What do you want me to do for Linda? What does she need? Show me what to do and I'll do it. Going back to chapter 12. So, the angels, when they said his angel, I don't know if his angel looked like him. Wouldn't it be funny for our angels to look like us? I don't know. They didn't know. They were just trying to figure out some way that he could be standing knocking at the door when he was in the prison going to be killed the next day. So, anyhow, he told them all about how it happened. He told them all that we just read. And then he went unto another place. Now they knew that they were finished praying because God had sent deliverance. It's wonderful to hear about the deliverance God sends when you're praying earnestly for it, isn't it? And hopefully we will believe him. Now as soon as it was day, there was no small stir among the soldiers what was become of Peter. We were right here. Those that were asleep, oh my, they're in trouble. But they had this chains on him. How could he get loose from the chains? How could he get by us at the door? How could he get through the gates? How could he do this? And when Herod had sought for him, so he sent his soldiers out and found him not, he examined the keepers and commanded that they should be put to death. Sad situation, isn't it? I wonder if all of them, the whole 16 of them, 4 quaternions, probably just the ones that were in charge of him then. And he went down from Judea to Caesarea and there abode. So Herod had been thwarted, hadn't he? He thought, I'm going to get all the ringleaders of this sect and I'm going to get rid of them. But when the Lord let him take James, but not Peter. And after that, I imagine he's afraid to go after any of the rest of them. Because he went from Judea to Caesarea and stayed there. And Herod was highly displeased with them of Tyre and Sidon. See, Herod's the king. And Herod doesn't like to be disobeyed or, in fact, do anything done wrong that he says they should do. That's why he commanded those keepers to be put to death. So he was highly displeased with them of Tyre and Sidon, but they came with one accord to him, and having made Blastus the king's chamberlain their friend, desired peace. So I don't know what Herod planned to do with Tyre and Sidon. Caesarea was down near the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, and so was Tyre and Sidon. So they came there to hopefully make peace, because their country was nourished by the king's country. They were by the coast, but Herod was in where they raised fruits and raised vegetables and other things that Tyre and Sidon needed and could trade with them for. So they were hoping to make peace so that they could still be nourished by Judea. And upon a set day, Herod, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne and made an oration unto them. We have in history, it says why all this happened, but I'll read the rest of it and then I'm going to tell you what historical things say. And the people gave a shout, saying, "It is the voice of a God and not of a man." And immediately the angel of the Lord smote him, because he gave not God the glory. And he was eaten of worms and gave up the ghost. Now, I heard that he had on this shiny gold robe. I mean, and the sun was just shining on it, and it was glistening, and he was talking with all of his oratorical skills. And they claimed that it was the voice of a God and not of a man. They were really impressed. But Herod did not give God the glory. And the angel of the Lord smote him, and he was eaten of worms and gave up the ghost. Wow. Eaten of worms and gave up the ghost. I don't know if he just collapsed right there and died from the worms eating him. That's what it says he died from. But Herod was in trouble with God. And it was bad enough to die, but then to have to go stand before God and give account. You know, he had killed James. He was wanting to kill Peter. He had sent word these keepers of Peter hadn't done anything wrong, and he told them for them to be put to death. All I can say is I hope that happened before they were put to death. But you know what? Who had a chance to talk to them before they were put to death? Peter. And if he was sleeping peacefully between two of them, you never can tell what the Lord had already done for those keepers. Verse 24. But the word of God grew and multiplied. So God was sending his word to everybody. He was sending his word to all the people living around in that area. Oh, let me get that off. He was sending his word to people. And it was growing and multiplying. You know, if God gives you something from the Bible and it's yours, and you know that he's spoken to you, you're going to tell somebody else. That's how it grew and multiplied. The word kept going from person to person. And the apostles were preaching the word. And it was wonderful what was happening. And Barnabas and Saul returned from Jerusalem when they had fulfilled their ministry, and took with them John, whose surname was Mark. So we've heard it twice in this chapter about John, whose surname was Mark. They were in his mother's house. He came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark. The church was gathered. Many of the church were gathered there. And Rhoda was the one that answered the door. And now we find out that when Barnabas and Saul returned from Jerusalem, I guess they were going back to Antioch, when they had fulfilled their ministry, they took with them John, whose surname was Mark. Well, who is Mark? Mark. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. The writer of the second gospel. So, it's good to hear about him, isn't it? Well, I'm going to go now, and I will see you tomorrow, Lord willing. God bless you.